Hello, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's a girl Misha, and I'm here to take you through today's price action. Yep, this is a gold chart, 15 minutes. But before we start, I would like to share with you my mantra: success is my duty, obligation, and a responsibility. Let's dive in. So, I usually trade the London session. So, before I start the trading, before I look for setups in London session, I just trace back and find out what did Asian session left, like what was the price like during the Asian session. That's my starting point. Of course, after checking the economic calendar, after checking do we have any news events in the day. So after checking my news events for the news events, then I trace back Asian session, find out what was really happening on the chart. So when I trace back today, Asian session, we had price opened up around here. We had a run on buy side liquidity. So price took out buy side liquidity, closed back into the range, leaving a rejection around here. Then what else did it do after taking out buy side liquidity? We had a market structure shift in this point because we had price close below this was our most recent swing low. So we had price close below it, making this a market structure shift. So this was a valid market structure shift. So in this case, since we had gotten a valid market structure shift, I was looking for sales for sale opportunities. So if I'm looking for sale opportunities or for sale setups to participate, I just wait for price to hit my premium PDR raise. So after identifying the current market structure, in this case it had changed to a bearish structure, the next step is to identify the bearish PDR raise or the premium PDR raise in this case to participate on. So when I look back here, we had a bearish breaker, we had a bearish order block, we also had a rejection block. You can clearly see that price traded higher. It was rejected at this point. Still, it traded like there. It failed to close above. It was rejected. So we had three PDR raise. We had a rejection block, this point, that was our rejection block. We had a bearish order block and a bearish breaker. So if I want to participate in the sales rather, I wait for price to trade back into my premium portion. So when I get my fib to measure out the premium portion of my range, this was our most recent high and this was the most recent low in this case. So you wait for price to trade back into the premium portion of the range, into our premium PDR raise, then you take on your sell entry. So in this case, we had multiple, we had three: a bearish breaker, a bearish order block, and a rejection block. So you don't just enter blindly that expecting a sell at the order block or at the breaker. You enter blindly. So if you enter blindly, you'll find out that your stop loss would be so wide. So in order to have a tight stop loss, you wait for a confirmation. In this case, my confirmation was a swing high. You wait for price to form new swing highs in this case. Since you're looking for sale opportunities, you wait for price to start making new swing highs. And after price hitting the rejection block, we had a swing high being formed here. You can clearly see that this was a swing high. So price started forming swing high. So when price starts making now new swing highs in the premium portion of our range, that is a confirmation, that is a reversal confirmation that price is now ready to react off my premium PDRA, in this case, rejection block. So we had this swing high formed, then price came, took it out, but it closed back into the range. So when I take my setup around here, stop loss, I would say I was risking 50 pips. 50 pips for something like 200 pips. That is a very good risk to reward ratio. From here to here, why was my take profit here? Because we had equal lows. So this was a pull of sell side liquidity resting below. So we had a pull of sell side liquidity resting below. So from here, this was my target sell side liquidity in this case. So when you're trading, I usually participate in the current price action. I don't overanalyze. I don't look so far since I'm an intraday trader, or you can call it scalping. I take my setups on the 15 minutes, so I don't overanalyze. So at this particular moment in time, took profits around here, 200 pips. So we had a reversal after price taking out sell side liquidity. This was for yesterday. Took out this low. Then we had something like a balance price range in here. So after price hitting in this case, these were discount PDRAs. We had a balance price range in here. That was for yesterday. So started rejecting. So after price hitting a discount here, it started rejecting. So we had a rejection of here. Still price came, took out the rejection. In this case, it took out the sell side liquidity, closed back into the range, again traded lower, closed back into the range. So the moment you see this in price action, that signifies a reversal. It is showing you that price is now ready to reverse after hitting a certain PDRA. It doesn't just happen randomly. So in this case, we had a discount balance price range, or you can call it a hidden base. When you zoom down onto a lower time frame, you'll find a hidden order block around here, this level or point. You'll find a hidden order block just there. So after price hitting that range, we had a rejection, like price started rejecting off that level. So the moment you see that price has been moving down, but it is starting to reject, so that is a significance. It is showing you that it is now ready to reverse and move in a different direction. So if you're trading, always participate in the now moment, participate in the direction of the trend. Don't force entries, don't force trends. I took on the sell, exit, took my profits. Then price started rejecting off the balance price range that was left yesterday. So if at all you're not yet sure, you wait for a confirmation. So we formed a swing low at this particular moment in time. We had a change in state of delivery. Why is it a change in state of delivery? Because we had this candle close above these two consecutive down close, making it a change in state of delivery. So making this a bullish order block in this case. If you're not yet sure, you wait for a market structure shift. And in this case, a market structure shift happened here. It happened here because we had price still close above this most recent swing high. I would say it closed above this was now the most recent swing high. So we had price still close above that most recent swing high, making this a valid market structure shift. Then after identifying my change in state of delivery or a market structure shift, now it is time to identify the PDRAs, that like to identify the PDRAs in the discount, because since I was looking for a buy setup, you identify the PDRAs in this case. So in this most recent structure break or change in market structure shift, price left a fair value gap. So after identifying the fair value gap, you can say like I'm going to participate inside the fair value gap. You just get your Fibonacci to determine which one is the consequent encroachment Consequent encroachment, that is 50% of the fair value gap. So if I want to participate, I just identify the 50% of the gap. I identify the price point, then I take on my buy entry. So from here, stop loss 50 pips down, then the target, like the target take profit, we had a pool of buy side liquidity that was resting just above here. We had equal highs, then we had these two relatively equal highs. So you can clearly see that we had a lot of buy side liquidity resting above this point. So if you take your entry inside the fair value gap, in this case the consequent encroachment of the fair value gap, stop loss below, just slightly below this candle, because if I'm taking on the buy, I don't expect again price to come violate this up close candle. But if it violates it, then it means that the order flow has changed. So you take your loss and move on, move forwards. But in this case, around here, stop loss just slightly below this candle. So it was around 50 pips. 50 pips was a good stop loss. Then the target from my consequent encroachment to these relatively equal highs, you can clearly see that we had a very good move. So we had a very good risk to reward ratio around 1 to 4. That is a very good risk to reward ratio. So when you identify that you're about to take on a setup, and you identify that the risk to reward ratio, the risk is higher than the reward you're hoping for, that is a very bad entry. So I don't advise you to take on that trade. You just sit and wait for a very good confirmation such that you can minimize the risk and you're able to make very good profits. Like you're able to maximize your profits and lowering your risk, because it is always good to manage your risk. So you always target 1 to 3, like 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio. 1 to 4 is good, 1 to 5 is good, and above 1 and above is a very good risk to reward ratio. So after here, we had price still closed above this up close candle, so making this now a new bullish order block. So if you're looking for buys, you participate on the bullish PDRAs. In this case, we price formed a new bullish order block. So you just wait for price to trade back into the order block. You can take on your entry here. Still, since the order flow had changed to a bullish, we had a break in market structure here. This was a bullish order block. So this was a new bullish order block. Price left a fair value gap, traded, then it left a balance price range, still traded into the balance price range, and it started moving, like continuing in that direction. Continued in that direction, left a balance price range in here. We had a balance price range. Then we had a new bullish order block. You can clearly see that this was now a new bullish order block, and we had price retrace back into that, and it is reacting off the bullish order block. So if you're trading, make sure you participate in the direction of the trend. Don't overanalyze, don't anticipate so much, just be in the present moment. Hope this was insightful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I remain Misha. See you at the top. I love you.